Hello, everybody. Our parsha opens with the events on Rosh Chodesh Nisan after the Shivat Yemei HaMiluim, the 7 preparatory days, dry runs, if you will, in the function of the Mishkan. We are told, Vayihi Bayom HaShmini, and on the 8th day, which Chazal understand to be the 8th day when counting the Shivat Yemei HaMiluim, which began in the final week of Adar. So the 8th day is Rosh Chodesh Nisan. And God tells Moshe, call to Aaron and his sons, and they're going to function as Kohen Gadol and Kohanim in the Mishkan. A number of questions arise on this first pasuk. Number one, why is it called the 8th day? To give an analogy, if one has before a sporting league, one has what we call in baseball jargon spring training, games that are just for practice and that don't really count. And then you come to the actual season itself, to the meaningful games that do count. We don't refer to the first day as, let's say there were 25 days of spring training, as day 26 of the baseball season. We call it opening day. It's the first day. If there was a semifinal competition and two teams won their respective semifinals in 5 games, best 3 out of 5, and they won in 5 games, and now they're starting the final competition against one another, we don't say this is game day number 6. It's game day number 1 in the final series. So how come here, when service in the Mishkan counts for real, we don't refer to the first day as the first day, but rather we append it to the 7 practice days, if you will, the Shivat Yemei HaMiluim. Number 1. Number 2, we have a Gemara in Masechet Megillah that tells us that there is a tradition from the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah that whenever you have something introduced by the word Vayehi, Eino Ela Lashon Tsar. This is a time of calamity, tragedy, suffering. It's hard to imagine that Rosh Chodesh Nisan, opening day of the Mishkan for real, is a day that is Tsar, a day of sadness. So the Gemara tells us, well, it was tinged with sadness. After all, that was the day that Nadav and Avihu died. Okay, what does that have to do exactly with our pasuk? Somewhat questionable. I'd like to suggest the following based on a Medrash Tanchuma. The Medrash Tanchuma relates on our parsha that at the time of the snap, HaKadosh Baruch Hu argued with Moshe Rabbeinu. In the words of the Medrash, Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God at the snap said to him, Moshe, Lech b'shlichusi, I want you to be my emissary to Paro and demand freedom for the Jewish people. V'hu, and he, Moshe, Omer lo, says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shlach na biyad tishlach. Why me? Why don't you send him, the other one? What do you need me for? And Moshe tries to escape responsibility for this mission and pawn it off on someone else. Kach yom rishon v'sheni, day after day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu for 7 days is saying to Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe, go. And Moshe says, oh, find somebody else. I have a headache or this, whatever. Moshe comes up with every excuse under the sun not to fulfill the divine mission. Until, says the Medrash, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, after 7 days, Kiviyachol puts his foot down and says, you're going. But for these 7 days where you refused, Chayecha, Lemachar ani porea lecha. In the future, I'm going to pay you back. Kishayeh aseh hamishkan, when it's time for the Jewish people to get the Mishkan tabernacle. Tehei savur ba'atzmacha she'ata mishamesh b'kehuna gedola. You're going to think that the job of Kohen Gadol is yours to fulfill. Why? Because during the Shivat Yemei HaMiluim, Moshe Rabbeinu, in fact, did that which would normally be done by the Kohen Gadol. Any reasonable person in Moshe's shoes would assume he's destined, therefore, to continue, when it counts for real, as the Kohen Gadol. Va'ani omer lecha, and so you're going to be surprised after your 7 days, where I'm going to say to you, Kra li Aharon sheyishamesh. Vayihi bayom hashmini kara Moshe li Aharon ulevanav. Vayihi lashon tsar. This 8th day, the 8th day to the 7th, that served as a basis for Moshe assuming that he would be the Kohen Gadol, the Shivat Yemei HaMiluim. On that 8th day, it was a day of tsar for Moshe Rabbeinu. Vayehi lashon tsar. Moshe demurred and didn't fulfill willingly the mission of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, when you shy away from greatness, greatness will shy away from you as well. Shabbat Shalom.